What's good, people? Welcome back to my channel. This is update number 5 and I'm going to show you guys what I've been up to. And if you guys like what I've been doing, go ahead and like and subscribe. So let's go on and let me show you guys what I've been doing. So up in the top left, I added something that shows you how much HP and mana I have, and it's all connected directly to the character. Also, I have updated the monster a little bit, so if you let him touch you, he'll kill you. So now he has some HP and combat mechanics going on. So let me restart it real quickly so I can restart the game over, you guys can see it all. So let's get past this guy. He's got HP and everything getting destroyed. Jump, let's go. Now the next thing I added to the AI was this little, I guess a little version of the green guy, but instead this guy shoots just boots at you. So this one took me quite a little bit of time to do something that would automate the boot shot, but it's pretty much all aligned with what I've been wanting to do with I guess a different variation of the green slime monster, but it has a lot of shared stuff that I got with this, and I'll show you the code in just a bit. So those are the things that I have been working on. It's basically just the AI, and I'll show you guys what the code looks like. So here we go. So let's talk quickly about the monster combat script. So this one basically, as soon as the character makes contact with the monster is going to go through the player stats script that's attached to the player, and he's going to do 1001 damage, which will basically kill him, and then it will interact with all the other stats or scripts that are on the player. So this is the one quick thing that I was able to do, and then later on I attached it to the GUI, and I'll show you guys more in just a bit, but this was very short and small addition to this. So let me show you guys some more. The next thing I did was with the monster movement script that was already created. So this one is basically taking a look for the player, grabbing its transform, as you guys can see in the awake. Then as you go and scroll down, this is already just adding a little bit more to it, but this is just checking, let me show you guys, for the distance or pretty much the position. So if he's to the left of the character, basically what I'm doing here, he's going to be facing towards him. If he goes to the right side of the character, he's going to use the transfer local scale to flip. So you guys can see on this first, I guess line 40 and line 44, you guys can see that I'm using the transform.locate local scale to flip the vector, and that causes him to appear to be looking at the character if he's going to the left of him or to the right. And those are the small little changes I did. Right now you can't see that in the game because right now you can't jump over them, so you won't be able to see that yet, but maybe you guys will see it when I add the new feature, I guess a new skill, to give him a super jump. So pretty much the monster movement was just a way to, or the new update for that was just to track the character moving left and right, and that was pretty much it for the monster movement. Let's check out the next stuff. Now for the monster movement for the green slime, there was no update to that. But what I ended up doing was I pulled the code for that and I reused it for this new red slime that's going to be just shooting a projectile. So I also spent some time creating or redrawing, or not even redrawing, but recoloring the sprites to make it a little bit more different for the player to know that, hey, this one shoots projectiles. So it probably took me maybe a minute to do, but unfortunately the main thing I was trying to do is see if I could change the sprite renderer color to get something sort of like this, but that didn't work. But I ended up just recoloring it. So before I show you the code, let me show you guys what goes into this monster, right? So in the top left, you guys can see I drop down and it has a spawn point, and that spawn point later on was used to be the spot where the projectile is going to be launched from. Now the slime shot was something also that I created and drew, was pretty much the boot that you guys can see that gets fired off into the air in a projectile motion, and it just goes up and down, and pretty much that's all I have in store for that. But I'll probably be making it either spin or start doing some damage if it hits the character. So those are the things I was able to add. Now this guy is going to be not moving, he's just going to be statically in one spot. So I removed the monster movement script from this, although there was a little bit used in the monster shooting script. So now let me show you what's inside the code. So since this was kind of a little bit of a recoding of the monster movement script, pretty much all I did was the same stuff. I just copy and pasted and modified it a little bit. I still needed to know the character's position, so I was able to find all that stuff at the very beginning. So at the start, I go ahead and find the player using find game object with tag, and it looks for him, and once it finds him, I'm able to pull the transform from that character and store it into the player transform location. Now here you will see the void update. Now I'll talk more about this in just a bit, but this just tells me or allows me to check if there's a boot already out there, then it won't shoot the boot, a new boot. And the shoot player pretty much is the guts of this stuff, and I'll explain it right now. So right now, the script is called, well, not the script, but the function is called shoot player. And what's going on in here is pretty much if the player is there, he's gonna go ahead and start shooting. Otherwise, if I didn't add this line with the if, I would get error. So I want to make sure I don't get that and scare me along the way when I'm coding and he dies and I'm getting error. So that's why I put that if statement right there. Now in the past videos I've shown you guys, basically it's just checking for the position, and he's gonna change left and right. Well, this was probably the same exact video that I showed you guys. Now I'm checking over here in this section right here. It's basically showing or checking for the distance of the character, and it's going to be an absolute value, so I could always know if it's within 10 units, it's going to go ahead and fire that object as soon as he gets close. So that's pretty much what he's doing there, and it's always being, I guess, let me see, do I have it running? Yep, it's in the update function. Alright, so now what's in here for the fire projectile? So basically I go ahead and put the boot shot and I instantiate it, and of course it's going to be storing the prefab in the projectile portion of this. Also it's going to be checking for the spawn position, which pretty much was what I showed you guys in the menu, and it's going to check for its rotation also for the third argument. Right now in the debug.log, basically this is just for me to know that's being fired. And once this is fired, after 2.5 seconds, it's going to go ahead and destroy itself. That way I'm able to go ahead and fire another shoot. Alright, so that pretty much is the guts of all this right here. Although I did have a hard time trying to fire this off for an automated, because I was using coroutines and I would just get like a chain gun being fired off if I put it in there. And I got lucky because it didn't crash my Unity. So let's go ahead and show you just a little bit more. We're almost done. Alright, the last thing I'm going to show you guys was the GUI controller. Basically this is which shows you how much HP and mana he has, and it's placed under the canvas, and here's a GUI controller, just an empty object, but it's holding the script for the controlling of the HP and mana being manipulated. And I got all the text over here on the side, the HP Text Mesh Pro and the Mana Text Mesh Pro. Is what's going to be updated. Right now I just have the HP being updated, but the mana doesn't have any gameplay in store yet, so maybe next time I'll start adding some mana with some super jumps to take some away from it. Alright, so now let me show you real quickly the script. So here's a script. Basically I was using Text Mesh Pro. It's kind of hard to say that fast, but the thing that I always tend to forget is how to put, or what to put in the using section, right? So usually I have to find where it's at, but I guess with this video now I can go straight to the video and always find it, so that kind of helps me out. Now what's going on in here? Well, I go ahead and set up the variables that's going to hold all the information that I'm going to need for the updating of the HP. So right here on the top I got the stats from the player stats that I'm going to pull from, and I got the serialized fields for the HP and mana text. So I go ahead and first things first is go ahead and find the object of type, and that's going to be the player stats, which holds all the HP and information for the character. And I do this because I want to be able to access this. Now later on, whenever he takes damage through the void through the update, it's going to go ahead and do a search or pop it every time to check what the HP is. And every time it grabs it, it's going to convert it to string, and then it's going to send it over to the hp.text, where you see it's going to be in the GUI, and it's going to be constantly being updated. Maybe I'll find another way to make this better without using a constant update, but that's pretty much all we have for this current 2 to 3 hour update. So we are done pretty much with this section of me coding. Next thing, I think I'm going to be working on adding some I guess, some features to the boot that gets thrown, and maybe finally adding a little quick monster to this game and doing some scene changes. And that's gonna be probably my next update. So if you guys liked what I did, go ahead and hit me with a subscribe or a like, and maybe even leave a comment or two. All right, so check it out next time. Late.